Okay, Charlie, I wanted to put you up next to somebody that would show some of the things that we are talking about. Um, it's really just one thing that I wanted to point out with you. And so I don't have a lot of videos on here, but I've got Robert from the White Sox, as there's a lot of similarity. And I think this video illustrates like the one point that I want to make about what you are doing. It's my one suggestion. Let me phrase it that way. It's the one suggestion that I have moving forward. As you watch Luis Robert, see how late he is. It's very narrow. It's very similar to you as far as how we're moving early. But look at the relationship between his hands, right, and how he's taking his stride. And you can see how late he's going back and falling into the slot. See how late he is going back. While we talk a lot about loading our back hip and not loading our hands, I think it would help you if you went back later with your hands. Sorry, this is a little bit hard to do in the super slow-mo, but you get going back real early, and then they just kind of get stuck back there at the end. And as you start coming forward, right as you're hitting the ground, see your hands relative to the background as your foot's coming down, just starting to come forward, right? So we're not getting a real good separation between our lower half and upper half. Now, still a lot of good things going on as I just take you through. You still stay real connected as you get to the ball, right? Really good job with your connectivity there. What I'd like to see you get is some more separation between your lower half and upper half. And you're not in a real bad spot there when you get to toe touch. But the difference is, again, watching Robert's hand going back towards the end. You get your hands go back really early, and then right as your foot's coming down, you can see how your top half, your hands are starting to come forward. So as we watch Robert, and I know it's a major leaguer, it's a world-class athlete, but I just thought this one would show how as he's getting back late with his hands, he's really able to create a stretch between his lower half engaging and his hands starting to come forward. Whereas you can see yours are kind of together. So as I roll yours, as you go from toe to heel, and then we watch Robert as he gets from toe to heel. And you can see how his hands are still really back. The other thing that I would encourage is to just get a little bit more weight off of your backside. As I was watching, I think that we're still back and we're kind of, really rotational back here. And the reason I say that is when we're at impact, okay, and then we look at Robert at impact, because Robert, you can see, I picked him because it's very similar how he looks there and how you look there. But now watch how he's going to get a little bit of shift off of his backside as his heel comes down. See how he still gets it going forward to get his hip set? And let me illustrate that again. So he's getting kind of this forward action as he gets this, before he even gets that rotation coming in. Where you're getting the toe touch, and there's not as much forward action. It's more just kind of, rotating back here. Because the end result is at impact, where is he at impact? Right about there, okay? You can see, let me switch just straight line. As we draw the line, as we draw the line through his back knee, you can see that it's straight through his head. Sorry, I was off a little bit there, right? You can see that it's through his back knee, straight through his head. Whereas if I drew it through yours, you can see how your head's way behind that. I just think that's a sign that we're a little bit stuck on our backside there. And you can see as he goes from impact to extension, how he drops, and as you're going impact to extension, we're going back some. So it's real close, Charlie. Like I said, again, really good job in staying connected there. I think that what would help, and it's again, I'm just making suggestions, the one thing going forward is feel, hey, see if I can get going back later with my hands so that I don't get that movement forward there as my toes coming down. And the idea of like, okay, I can get a little bit more weight off of my back leg, either on my initial stride or again, watch, oops, wrong tool. You can watch Robert how he gets this driving forward rather than just rotating his knee. Whereas we're just getting a lot of kind of backside rotation there. And that ends up with our head kind of back at impact, kind of this direction here, whereas he's able to get that much better straight line through right there. So I thought he was good to show somebody similar that's able to generate a little bit more separation between lower half and upper half, whereas I just think you're coming a little bit too soon with your top half and just a little bit stuck on your backside. So hopefully that helps out. That's the one suggestion that I have for you, bud.